The Hollywood sign. I'm sure everyone who looks at that thinks of movies, television. Me? I think of hiking. We leave the small upper parking lot for the trailhead. We quickly come to this gate with its advice for dog owners and head up the road. That ascent starts out as no big deal. It's moderate at its steepest. Heart rate in the upper double digits at the most. Having driven the car-choked 101 freeway to get here, the shift to serenity is incredibly soothing. Griffith Park calls itself an urban wilderness, and that hybrid approach is evident as we climb into the Santa Monica Mountains. We're surrounded by nature, but the views are all city all the time. After about a mile or so, we come to a junction with this somewhat premature sign. Here, we turn left onto Mulholland Trail, and the road traverses the slope at a fairly level pitch. Another junction after about half mile or so, we scoot to the right and avoid this path called Holly Ridge Trail, which goes downhill. This is definitely one of those hikes where the prevailing advice is, when in doubt, go uphill. Well, we're now, unfortunately, on pavement. We turn right at this junction onto Mount Lee Drive and go about a mile or so. Time for some huffing and puffing. Or, for some extra credit, we turn left on Mount Lee Drive and hike about a half mile, where we have this view of the Hollywood sign from below. Not too shabby. I guess this is a good time to mention a little history. First built in December 1923 to promote a housing development called Hollywood Land. Unfortunately for the developers, their plans fizzled with the coming of the Great Depression. The sign remained here as a reminder of that failure until a 1946 storm blew over the letters. And then it was even sadder. About 3 years later, the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce decided to resurrect the sign with the LAND deleted. There you go. Okay, back we go to the last junction, where we now continue uphill in search of what I've heard is a pretty unique perspective on the sign. Along the way, the road switches views to the San Fernando Valley with Burbank right below us. After this junction with the Cahuenga Peak Trail, we're almost finished climbing. Now at first glance, it seems that we've reached the top, and not a very scenic one with the radio towers. By the way, Mount Lee was named after the guy that installed that array. Well, anyway, we have to continue to the left to the real summit. And we're now on Mount Lee's summit, elevation 1,708 feet. Viewing the Hollywood sign from behind is certainly a novelty, but the way I look at it, the city views truly make the trip worthwhile. So let's soak it all in. The sign is so iconic, it was named to the National Register in 1973. I guess because of that, it deserves rattling off some trivia. The letters are 45 feet tall and made out of sheet metal. It takes 400 gallons of white paint to spiffy them up, which is done maybe once every decade. And then lastly, it does get vandalized from time to time. Apparently some people reword it Hollyweed. Some kind of pothead humor there. And I think because of that, it now has a sophisticated surveillance system. The return to our car is nothing more than following the same route we took to get here. I would suggest on warmer days beginning the trip as early as possible, because this downhill walk can be rather sunny and hot. That was an incredible hike.